Aurora police officer who almost instantly got physical with Elijah McClain, kicking off the sequence of events that led to that young man's death, has been acquitted today. Suspended Aurora police officer Nathan Woodyard was found not guilty of reckless manslaughter and a lesser charge of criminally negligent homicide. Woodyard was the first officer to stop Elijah McClain that night in August 2019. Police had gotten a call that McClain appeared sketchy. Despite the fact that McClain had done nothing wrong, Woodyard put his hands on him in a matter of seconds, put him in a carotid neck hold that cut off oxygen to his brain. And prosecutors argued that made the officer complicit in McClain's death, even though a number of experts said that it was a dose of ketamine administered by paramedics that killed McClain. Those paramedics have not yet gone on trial. Woodyard is the second Aurora police officer acquitted. One APD officer, Randy Redeema, was convicted of criminally negligent homicide. Our Alexander Lewis joins us. Alex, you've been in court throughout these trials, talking with Elijah McClain's mother along the way. Shanine, was she surprised by another not guilty verdict?
Kyle, she really wasn't. She said that she was expecting this, and she really was trying not to have any expectation. She was incredibly disappointed with the split verdict and the outcome from Rosenblatt and Redeema. I mean, she was visibly heartbroken, so she didn't want to set herself up for that level of heartbreak. Yet, still as a spectator, it seemed that today was almost even harder than that first verdict a few weeks ago. You know, when the judge said not guilty, it's like you could hear a pin drop. I mean, there wasn't a lot of verbal reaction from anybody, but if you listen closely enough, you could hear Shanine's soft cries and sobs, and she had to sit there for a while. She sat there for about 10 minutes. She seemed to be paralyzed with emotion before she could stand up and collect herself and walk outside of that courtroom and face all of the cameras, all of the reporters waiting there for her on the back end. It was a tough day, and there was a lot of talk about accountability today. Even Phil Weiser, who was there holding her hand, and the prosecutors who tried this case, they all came to her after the fact and were like, well, you know, this is a step towards progress, right? These officers have seen their day in court. We are making progress when it comes to accountability for police's actions when it comes to young, specifically black men in America. And Shanine disagrees. This is not justice for her.
It's just unfortunate that the people that stopped my son, brutalized my son, tortured my son, get away with murder, and that they're passing on what they did to the medical professionals that still were supposed to do their job. Nobody did. So it's just unfortunate that they're placing the blame and passing the buck.
And the paramedics are up next after Thanksgiving. 2 paramedics will see their day in court. Shanine says that she will be there for that trial as well every single day, and I really can't fathom what that's like. It's hard enough as a reporter to see body cam video day after day of Elijah McClain dying, to hear, I think that's the worst part, to hear Elijah dying day after day as these trials play out, and Shanine sits there every single day, and I can't imagine what that's like for her, but she is up for the 3rd and final trial in a couple of weeks.
That is truly the part that's unfathomable as a parent, Alex, the idea that you would hear your child begging for his and her life again and again and again, and as she well knows, most of these times she's come away at the end feeling like justice was not served.
I think that's the hardest part. I can't even imagine what goes through her head, because we have to look back to 4 years ago. We wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for Shanine, who went to the protests of June of 2020, the summer of unrest with George Floyd, who said, you need to be saying my son's name as well. And that's how Governor Polis paid attention. That's why Phil Weiser took out a grand jury on this particular case. So she has been fighting for justice for 4 years, and to sit in trial after trial and not feel like she's getting that. We've used every adjective under the sun today to describe how she's feeling: disgusted, dejected, outraged, and it just is not sufficient. I don't know there are words to describe what Shanine McClain has gone through.
Alex Lewis, appreciate your reporting. Thank you.